BBC Radio Manchester, and joining me live, I'm delighted to say, this afternoon is Joe McElderry, who has been working incredibly hard. I mean, we always say, you know, X Factor, you won that, and then pop star to opera star, and you won that, and then we throw in the jump, which is always a bit random, isn't it? But you have really, for all these years, you know, 7-8 years, you've worked very hard, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been blessed with lovely opportunities, you know, some of them that you've mentioned, which helps, you know. But yeah, I mean, I don't really see it as hard work, because I bet
you see it as hard work on a Saturday when you're doing 3 shows on a Saturday.
Yeah, catch us in the middle of that day and I'm maybe like, oh my God. But it's fun, you know, it's good fun. I'm not saving lives or anything. I sing and dance for a living, so I can't complain.
No, you certainly can't. Yes, so on a Saturday, we were just talking about this. I've never heard of this before, but in Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, you do, on a Saturday, 3 shows. You do sort of 2, 5 and
8 o'clock, yeah.
2, 5. I've never, I mean, I've known 2 shows.
It's kind of, we do, our schedule is similar to what you would do like on a pantomime schedule, but we do it every week. So it's intense.
Yeah, and the thing is, of course, this is a family show. Yeah. That's why you have all those different, you know, afternoon shows, isn't it?
Yeah, and the great thing is, you know, when I first signed up to do the show, I was like, how is it possible that this show can sell 10 shows? You know, you think there can't be that many people in a city that can come across 10 shows, but it is unbelievable the amount of people that come through the door to see this show. Like, people just absolutely love it, you know. And I think it's because it's one of them family shows, but I think for a lot of people, it was people's first experience of musical theatre or performance in school or your nursery. Everybody goes, oh my God, I used to do that at school. So you get a lot of people coming in and have that kind of nostalgic feeling towards it, which just creates for incredible audiences, you know. They just absolutely eat it up and love it.
So there's a warm memory there.
It's great.
You're right, actually. We've all had some kind of an experience, whether it's our experience or our children's experience of it. We've all had experience. This is almost becoming your signature role, though. Isn't it, Joseph? Really? You know, you've done it, haven't you?
Well, I originally signed up to do 6 months, and halfway through the 6-month stint in the first time, I was kind of like, you know, this has been great and it's been wonderful. And then Mr. Bill Kenwright, who I've been working very closely with over the past year as well, asked us to do another run of the show, and I was really apprehensive about doing that, because I knew it was going to take us away from my own stuff and my own tours and music and everything. He's like, listen, let's incorporate it all in together, you know, let's do Joseph together, then we'll do an album of your own stuff and a tour. And it all kind of just worked really well. So it's been wonderful to be a part of such a loved musical, you know, and it's iconic.
It is iconic. Now, you talk about the album. I'm going to play, guess what? Any Dream Will Do. I'm going to play that in a moment or two, but this is from your latest album, isn't it?
Yeah, Saturday Night at the Movies.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to get the traffic news now on BBC Radio Manchester. More from Joe McElderry, who's with me live this afternoon. Yes, and the next song you'll hear is Joe singing Any Dream Will Do.
BBC Radio Manchester.
Any dream will do.
Joe McElderry, Any Dream Will Do. That's his version from his latest album, which is Saturday Night at the Movies. So he's with me live, by the way. You made that album in between doing this tour, Joseph.
Well, so we get a Sunday and a Monday off. We do 10 shows Sunday and a Monday, and in the first, like...
Luxury.
Yes.
Think yourself lucky.
I get a weekend. And I record it on... I literally would finish on a Saturday night in the whatever city we were in, and I would drive or fly to wherever... It was Bristol. I recorded it in Bristol. That was where the producer was. And record it on a Sunday and Monday, straight back in. We recorded it over about 6 weeks, like 2 days over 6 weeks. But it was pretty intense.
Where is home, Joe?
Newcastle. Well, South Shields.
Is it still there?
Yeah. I bought a place up there a few years ago, and I kind of class that as my base. And not that I ever see it.
No, I was going to say that.
I mean, I haven't been home properly in it since June. So
You should rent it out.
I know, I should do that. But yeah, I mean, it's lovely. That's kind of home for me. All my family and friends are up there, and then I just go everywhere else I need to be for work and stuff. So it's
Do you actually like travelling, or is that the worst part of what you do?
I used to get really homesick in the beginning, and I used to, on every day off, I used to really want to go home. But now, I've kind of, I just got really used to it, and I really enjoy it. And sometimes if I'm not going somewhere, if I've got a week off or something, and I'm not travelling somewhere, I'm a bit like, oh, this feels really odd. I kind of enjoy the whole experience of being in different places and going to different restaurants and seeing different towns and cities.
What do you do if you have a week off? I mean, do you think, right, okay, this is my week for doing DIY or something?
I mean, no, absolutely.
Just randomly,
DIY, absolutely no way. I normally have 3 days off and then I'm insanely bored.
Yeah.
And it's because I genuinely love what I do, so I don't really see it as people go, oh my god, this schedule and things, but I don't see it like that because we genuinely have great fun. And
also, it's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Because let's face it, anybody who is in really show business, 99% want to be loved. And you can't feel more loved than standing on that stage with people clapping and cheering you, singing along to your songs, and maybe you're getting a standing ovation. There isn't much more love, is there, than that?
Exactly. And, you're with a big cast of people. We all have fun. We all socialise together. It's great fun. I can't complain.
But you're only young, aren't you, Joe? I suppose.
26, yeah.
Yeah, so young, actually. It's so young when you look at all that you've done. You did start very young, didn't you? But but I wonder how you'll feel, who knows, when you get to sort of 46 and whether or not the appeal will be the same. But it's a young person's game, isn't it? The touring.
Somebody said to me quite a while, a couple of months back, they said, oh, what would you want, what can you imagine yourself doing when you're 50? And I was like, let's try and get to 30 first. But what I did say is, I hope that I still love this job as much as I do now, and if I do, then I'll feel very lucky. Hopefully I'm still able to do it, and hopefully I still have the same passion and drive that I have now. I really hope that happens.
Do you see anything in show business, if you like, that you think, do you know what, I would like to have a go at that? Not what I'm known for, like, I don't know, maybe producing or directing or, something other than what you're doing.
I'd like to do maybe something like a chat show kind of thing. Like where you talk to kind of, or maybe like a music themed one where you could chat, because I know what it's like to be interviewed, and I know what it's like when you get like them, like present company exec. But like sometimes you get interviewed on those chat shows and stuff, and you see some of the questions that they're asked, and you think, I know that if somebody asked something else, you would get far much better of a story out of something, and I'd love to do something coming from that angle, because I think it would be really interesting.
Now you're making me feel self-conscious.
Not you. I said not you.
However, I'm going to go back to the one thing that you don't not like talking about it, but I'm going to ask you about this for a reason, and that is X Factor. And I know you will always try and you'll be thankful for it,
yes,
but you will always try and move on, because, you have moved on. However, what I want to ask you about, because of the George Michael documentary last night, Freedom,
which I need to watch.
I want to, yes, and me, because I've recorded it too, but I want to ask you about singing that duet with George Michael on X Factor when you were so young, weren't you?
He was first of all, such a professional and such a lovely man with it. He did everything. On that day, I remember he was stuck in traffic on the M25. I think he must have been coming from his house or something, and the rehearsal was at about 4 p.m. And I remember they phoned ahead and they said he's so sorry he's going to be late. He's stuck in gridlock traffic. Not many people of his caliber would do that.
No.
They'd just be like, I'll turn up when I want to turn up.
Yeah.
He was apologetic, and he was like, can you please tell Joe I'm so sorry, I'll be there as soon as I can. And when he got there, I was already stood on stage waiting to rehearse, and an assistant came out and tapped us on the shoulder. She went, can you just come with me please a second? So I went off stage. He was like, I didn't want to meet you in front of everyone. I think it's really unprofessional to just walk out on stage and throw you into that whole duet scenario. He was like, I'm George, it's lovely to meet you, we'll do this together, let's work out what parts, he's like, I want this to be your moment. And he was so lovely with it, and so and he got a load of stick the next day about a comment that he made about saying it's really hard for these guys to come and sing with people like us. But what he actually, and obviously the press completely twisted it and turned it around and made it into an awful thing. But what he was trying to say is, you know, a lot of these people are going to come on and make this whole duet about the celebrity that's singing, but he was the complete opposite. He wanted me to have all the high notes, all of the, he was like, I'm just going to be there and it's going to be your moment to like he was so, honestly,
So generous.
yeah, so genuine. And he invited me and Cheryl to his dressing room after, and we sat and had a cup of tea and chatted about the industry for a good hour afterwards, and he was so helpful and full of I can't praise that man enough.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? So there you are, having a cup of tea with George Michael and Cheryl Cole.
Yeah, it was in dressing gowns, me ad. We're all sat in dressing gowns.
Have you got photos?
I don't. I was kind of. We were all just sat there, and he was really, which I've heard now. Your producer was telling me about the documentary last night, and saying that he really struggled with the whole public eye thing. And he said that. He said, you know, I played with the press and I tried to fight it for so long. He's like, when really I should have just concentrated on what I was doing, you know. And he was like, so if I can give you any advice, just get on with your job. Don't buy into that whole thing. Just do what you need to do to get through your job, which I thought was great advice.
Wow, well, great talking to you. Thank you, Joe. Lovely to see you. Have a lovely week in Manchester. Of course you will.
Thank you.
Manchester's brilliant, isn't it?
I love it. One of my favourite places.
I know, you're no stranger to Manchester. So Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat at the Palace Theatre in Manchester from tonight until Saturday.
Yes.
3 shows on Saturday in Manchester.
3 shows, 2 every other day.
Lovely to see you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.